You're listening to a podcast from Faith Baptist Church of Winter Haven, Florida. Our purpose is to worship God and equip believers to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. If you'd like more information, please visit faithbaptistwh.org.
Well, good evening. Welcome back. Glad to see you guys here. And a big thank you to Pastor Dave for taking the last couple of lessons so that my family could travel to Virginia for the holidays. We had a great Thanksgiving trip back home, and we got to even spend a whole day pretty much at the Museum of the Bible in D.C. If you ever find yourself in D.C., you got to go to that museum. Plan on spending at least half a day there. If you're a Bible nerd, spend a whole day there. It's worth it. I got to see some Dead Sea Scrolls. It was great. But I have a fun icebreaker question for us tonight to get us started. In the age of online gambling and mystery boxes and sports betting, I want to know, what are some things that you think are somewhat predictable? What are some things that are somewhat predictable? Hazel? Your health? Okay, yep, great answer. Yep, Don? The sun is pretty predictable. I mean, for the most part, you predict it's going to come up tomorrow. That's been true pretty much every day so far. All right? Yeah. That you're going to die. Pretty predictable. Sam? Horse races are pretty predictable. Okay. All right. Maybe? Jay? Well, yeah, you can predict that you're going to sprain your ankle if you are roughhousing. That might be more predictable. But, okay. What else? Yeah. Gonna have to buy more food. Yep, gotta go grocery shopping. That's predictable. Kayla? Prices are gonna keep going up. Yep, pretty predictable. Yep. Children will disobey. Yes. Jay? Parents will embarrass you. Okay. Other Jay? What? You'll have state testing. Yeah, predictable. Or that your mom might annoy you. Or that you might annoy your mom. Yes. Getting voluntold to do something. Yep, that's pretty predictable as a kid, right? Let's flip the script. What are some things that aren't so predictable? Yeah.
Whenever you dislocate your knee.
Okay.
By just sitting down.
Yep, if you're just sitting down and you pop out your knee or your hip or something like that. Couldn't predict that happening. Yeah.
So you know that you're going to die, but you don't know when.
Yep, it's predictable that you're going to die, but how that happens is totally unpredictable. Yes, yeah. When Jesus will be back, yep, no one will know. Yep, unpredictable for us. Yeah.
Even more untrue than when you'll die, where you'll go after.
Where you'll go after. That can be harder to predict, yes. Gas prices, yep, they fluctuate all the time. Yep.
It's pretty predictable that you're going to break something while jumping off a trash can while trying to.
Well, we're looking at unpredictable. We flipped the script. But yeah, those are some great answers. All right, so keep this concept of predictability in your mind tonight as we get into Ecclesiastes chapter 11. I would love if I could have a volunteer read first from the ESV or the NIV. Sam, you got that for us?
Yeah, I will. Like you said, ESV, right?
ESV or the NIV first, yeah.
Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. Give portion to 7 or even to 8, for you know not what disaster may happen on earth. If the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves on the earth, and if a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it will lie. He who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. As you do not know the way the Spirit comes to the bones in the womb of a woman with child, so you do not know the work of God who makes everything. In the morning sow your seed, and at evening withhold not your hand, for you do not know which will prosper, this or that, or whether both alike will be good. Light is sweet, and it is pleasant for the eyes to see the sun. So if a person lives many years, let him rejoice in them all, but let him remember that the days of darkness will be many. All that comes is vanity. Rejoice, O young man, in your youth, and let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. Walk in the ways of your heart and in the sight of your eyes, but know that for all these things God will bring you into judgment. Remove vexation from your heart and put away pain from your body, for youth and the dawn of life are vanity.
Awesome. And then could we have a volunteer read from the CSB? Eve.
Send your bread on the surface of the water, for after many days you may find it. Give a portion to 7 or even to 8, for you don't know what disaster may happen on earth. If the clouds are full, they will pour out rain on the earth. Whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, the place where the tree falls, there it will lie. One who watches the wind will not sow, and the one who looks at the clouds will not reap. Just as you don't know the path of the wind, or how many bones develop in the womb of a pregnant woman, so also you don't know the work of God who makes everything. In the morning sow your seed, and at evening do not let your hand rest, because you don't know which will succeed, whether one or the other, or if both of them will be equally good. Light is sweet, and it is pleasing for the eyes to see the sun. Indeed, if someone lives many years, let him rejoice in them all, and let him remember the days of darkness, since they be many. All that comes is futile. Rejoice, young person, while you are young, and let your heart be glad in the days of your youth. And walk in the ways of your heart and in the desire of your eyes. But know that for all of these things God will bring you to judgment. Remove sorrow from your heart and put away pain from your flesh, because youth and the prime of life are fleeting.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, so our first question for tonight then is, what seems to be predictable or knowable? I'm going to use those terms interchangeably. And then what seems to be unpredictable or unknowable? So let's start first with the predictable and knowable. What does Solomon seem to think is predictable or knowable in this chapter? Yeah. Okay, yep. If the clouds are full, they'll pour out rain on the earth. So that's predictable. If we see a cloud full of rain, it'll rain.
If a tree falls, it's not going to get legs and walk away.
Yep, if a tree falls to the south or the north, it's going to stay there. It's going to stay put. Yep, Sam?
Someone who watches the wind will not sow.
Okay. What do you think that means? I'm gonna end this debate for you and your friend right now. The way that I've understood that is that 60% of the area will see rain, right? So it's like you're gonna see rain, but the percentage of the total area of the county will see, that's the percentage in my mind. But yeah. The winds might blow the seeds away. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the other side of that phrase is, and the one who looks at the clouds will not reap. So there's the will not sow, if they're just looking and watching at the wind, but then there's also looking and watching for the clouds. They're not reaping. And so to me, it seems like in both of these situations, they're waiting for just the right time. They're waiting for just the right time to invest. They're waiting for just the right time to buy a house, right? And so if you're just waiting for the right opportunity to come, and you're just waiting, it seems like what he's saying here is it'll pass you by, right? All right. What else seems to be predictable here? Any other predictability? Yeah. Selfishness brings judgment. Yeah, so we see God will bring you judgment, right? And then are you saying that the selfishness is coming from walking in the ways of your heart and then the desires of your eyes? Yep. Okay. There's an interesting tension there. We're going to come back to that. That's one of our questions. Any other predictable things here? Yes, Abby. Youth and the prime of life are fleeting. A theme that he has hit over and over and over again, right? Okay. Anything else predictable? Yeah, Jay.
We know that all the things that we do wrong, God will bring us judgment.
Yeah, God will bring you to judgment. It's going to happen, right? Yeah. Anything else predictable that you see here? Yeah, so since they will be many. All right, so if someone lives many years, then let him remember the days of darkness, which will be many for that person. So the assumption here, the predictable thing is, if you live a long life, you're going to have lots of sorrows. You're going to have lots of painful memories, right? Yeah. Anything else here? Okay, what about unpredictable? What's unpredictable in this chapter that we see? I'll change our colors here. Yeah.
In verse 2, it says, "For you don't know what disaster may happen on earth."
You don't know what's going to happen on earth. Yes. The what? You don't know the path of the wind. Where did it? Who watches the wind? Where is that at? Verse 5. Thank you. You don't know the path of the wind. Okay. Yep. That's interesting because in our prideful modernity, being modern times, right? We think, yes, I do. I know how bones grow, right? Okay, but do you know how DNA replicates? Or why DNA replicates? No, you don't really know that yet. We've got theories, but we don't know how God makes things. Jay?
We won't know the work of God.
Yeah, we
can't guarantee what God is doing in our lives.
Yeah, it is unpredictable what God will do.
We always know that he is going to make sure that it will go to his way.
Yeah, there's an unpredictability to, we don't know what God's doing. There's a mysterious will there, but it's predictable in that we know he's good, that he's faithful, right? And he knows what he's doing. Yeah. Any other unpredictable things in this chapter that you see? Kayla?
You don't know what of your endeavors or your work is going to succeed in, so
Yeah.
in the morning and
Yeah, you don't know what seed, the one or the other, or if both of them will be equally good. You don't know which one will work out, right? Okay? Anything else? Jay?
I want to go back to verse 8. We can't really guarantee that we're going to live many years either.
Yeah, so if. That's a big if.
If someone lives many years.
Yes. Yeah, if someone lives many years, that might not happen. That's unpredictable. Okay. All right. So I think we hit a lot of these. This is really great. Let's focus a little bit more acutely on verses 1 and 2 real quick. What is Solomon suggesting to do in verses 1 and 2? Does somebody want to try to simplify these commands? Jay?
We should give equally to all those of the earth.
Okay. We should give a portion equally or fairly or maybe even generously. We'll talk about that a little bit more here. What else do you think? How would you rephrase these two verses? They're kind of confusing, right? Yeah.
Well, verse 2, it really talks about if you're going to invest, you want to invest in diversification.
Yeah, so you're pulling out that...
Eggs in one basket, you don't want to buy Amazon stock and hope it's going to be there when you want to retire.
Bingo. You put all your eggs in one basket, and you trip, you fall on your way home, all your eggs break, right? So, yeah, this could be talking about diversifying to protect yourself. It could also be talking about something else. What do you think? I'm going to let this one sit for a little bit. Yeah, Pastor Dave, go for it.
If 7 is completion, is 8 abundance?
Yes, yeah, he's pulling out that Hebrew number poetry. 7 is the number of perfection. It's also completeness, right? So 7 and 8 is even more than completion. You could say it as to the nth degree, right? Hazel.
Number 1 is saying that you make from that more.
Are you going to be eating from that swollen, waterlogged bread?
Bread sometimes means things.
Yeah.
It means properties. It can mean valuable.
Sure.
It can mean something of worth.
Yeah.
So if you put something small
Mm-hmm.
and it absorbs the water, it makes it bigger.
Yeah.
And so giving blesses you.
Yeah. I see that as well. Yeah, Renee.
It's like letting something go, and when it comes back, it'll be more.
Yeah, all right, that's what hit my mind because I'm thinking about using bread to fish, right? So if I throw some bread in the water every day for a few days, fish are going to know that they can come and eat bread, right? And then I throw my hook in one of those pieces of bread, and then I got a fish. So my bread turned into fish, right? So there's an investment principle there, possibly, right? And we see that also happening here with this, you don't know what's going to happen, right? So we should give a portion to 7 or 8. We should split up what we have, right? So with this in mind, I think we see possibly 2 different themes here. We're not quite sure which is accurate. It might be that he's intending both. But I see this 7 or 8, he's saying, be generous, give willingly. Why? Because you don't know what's going to happen. There could be a disaster that comes, right? This makes me think of Luke chapter 12. There's a parable that Jesus shared. He said, he told them in a parable, a rich man's land was very productive. He thought to himself, what should I do since I don't have anywhere to store my crops? I'm so rich, I don't have anywhere to put it. What do I do? I'll do this, he said. I'll tear down everything I have and build bigger ones up to store all my grains and goods there. Then I'll have even more. Then I'll say to myself, you have many goods stored up for many years. Take it easy, eat, drink, and enjoy yourself. But God said to him, you fool, this very night your life is demanded of you. And all the things that you prepared, whose will they be? Who are they going to go to? That's how it is with the one who stores up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. Right, so I see that as, like, he is saying, be generous, but he's also, I think there's maybe some wisdom there in diversifying what we do, right? And this comes up again. So let's see, how does verses 1 and 2, these observations that he have here, fit in with what we see in verses 3 to 6? How do those connect? Yeah, there's things that are predictable, and one of the things that we have seen, at least like in something like the stock market, right, is that if you invest and you leave your money in, predictably it goes up at a certain rate of percentage, right? And so we should take advantage of those things that are predictable. We see that there's plenty of predictable things throughout this, right? But we also see things that are unpredictable, which brings in attention, right? Jay? That's a student doing his book reading challenge right there, right? So yeah, he's reading George Mueller, and he saw through just God's faithfulness to George. George was like, hey, there's these orphans. I got to take care of them. Somebody's got to do it. I don't know where the money's going to come from, but I'm going to go. And I mean, there was one time they're all sitting at the table. They don't have any food in the kitchen, and they're like, let's pray. And then milkman shows up. Here's some milk. Bread guy comes. Here's some bread. And then they ate that day, right? And so yeah, that's so cool to draw that out. Yeah, so I think that what we're seeing here is that there's some commands here. Send your bread, give a portion. So give, but also put your resources to work so that you might be able to invest and gain, but also there's tension here. So let's keep moving. What commands are given in verses 7 through 10? What do we see here? The back half of the chapter. What commands do you see? Eve. All right. Yep. If you live many years, rejoice in them all. Okay. Rejoice in the years God's given you. Yep.
It says, rejoice, young person.
Rejoice while you're young. Yep. So it's almost like he's saying, take advantage of the youth that he's given you. Yep. Rejoice, rejoice. We've seen that command twice already. Jay? Okay, remove sorrow from your heart, put away pain from your flesh. Does anybody have another translation that puts that a different way? That's one of the main differences in a lot of the different like modern texts. Have you seen that yet? Any other translations say anything about like vexation? Yep. So remove the sorrow. The Hebrew word there is more. It's better. It's more literally translated as vexation. It could also be said evil, right? So this might mean that he's saying remove those like evil memories in your heart, those things that you just keep coming back to, right? Don't dwell on that evil. Don't dwell on those regrets, that sorrow. And then put away pain from your flesh. That could also mean those painful memories as well. Okay. What other commands do we see here, 7 through 10? Let him remember that that there are days of darkness and that there are many. So I'm reading a book right now. It's called Deep Clouds. No, dark clouds, deep mercy. And he's drawing out the biblical lament, being able to go to God when things are hard, when you're remembering those dark, sorrowful, regretful moments, and then using that as a way to deepen your worship to God, as drawing closer to God. So yeah, it's commanded here to remember those days of darkness. Yeah. Any other commands that you see? Yeah, walk in the ways of your heart, which we said sounds selfish, right? Is this selfish here? Maybe?
I see the contradiction.
Okay.
Delight yourself in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart.
Possibly, yeah. I think there's a tension here, right? What are you pulling out?
The heart is desperately wicked, so how? I don't understand.
So let's look at just verse 9. Let's zoom in on 9. It seems like there is a big tension that starts at the front here, which is rejoice, young person, while you're young, enjoy your youth, let your heart be glad, and walk in the ways of your heart. Enjoy yourself, young person, enjoy your strength, use it, enjoy your friends, be good to your friends, right? He's saying take advantage of the things that God gives you as gifts in your younger days, because we know that they're fleeting right down here. But at the end of verse 10, we also get this reminder. It's almost like a parental reminder. Hey, go to your friend's house, have fun. Hey, but remember, I expect you home when the street lights are on. I know your guys' generation and my generation, but maybe not our students. But, right, like there's hey, have fun, but remember, I'm going to find out what you did from your parents. There's I want you to enjoy yourself, but I don't want you to do something that's going to get you into trouble. Be safe, right? So it seems like there's a tension there. But I think that Augustine, he said, love God with all your heart and then do what you please. It's kind of, there's freedom in this Christian walk, right? To in a sense, enjoy the things that God gives you to enjoy, right? Okay. Any other commands that we see here? I think we've kind of exhausted them. There's a lot here. Let your heart be glad. Yep. Pull that out. Yep, let your heart be glad. So that's a command. That's a weird command. Hey, sad person, just be glad. That solves your problem, right? Yeah, Pastor Dave?
So as I'm reading verse 9, this in mind.
Yes, I think so. Rejoice, God will bring you into judgment even for this command. I think about this, guys. Like, your God is good. He loves you. He wants you to enjoy life, the life that he has created for you, right? And he actually commands you to find your satisfaction not in the gift that he gives, but in him as the giver. So he's saying, enjoy your gift. It's like parents giving a toy to their child on Christmas. They want the child to enjoy the gift that they're giving them. They want them to play with it. They don't want to leave it in the pristine box and put it in a collection, right? Like I want you to enjoy the good gifts that I'm giving you. And it's actually commanded to enjoy God through those gifts. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's talk about verse 9. I got 4 minutes. What tension can be found in verse 9? We've been talking about this. How would you teach this or reiterate this, re-explain this in your own words to somebody? Yeah, David. Okay, rejoice and walk in the ways in your heart. Do the things that bring you joy, except if it gets you in trouble. Yep. Jay.
This is something my mother tells if you did something wrong or if you did.
See, that's that parental warning I'm telling you guys about. Yeah.
Always know what you were doing.
Hey, have fun. God's always going to know what you're doing. Right, Sam.
I say something similar to my kids in the sense that, like, enjoy what you're doing, but know that I have eyes everywhere.
I got eyes in the back of my head. I see everything.
And I will find out.
Uh-huh.
There will be something that Courtney has said to me often is that
So you're saying that in remembering these days of darkness, so if we get into the older years, I'm commanded to remember those days of darkness. You're saying that remembering those days can also make it difficult to enjoy those older years. So while you don't have as many of those days of darkness in your youth, then take advantage of this. Enjoy it. Be glad. Don't let little, what that friend said really just bog you down. Like that little thing is nothing in the grand scheme of the days of darkness to come, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. He's been talking about the unpredictability of life, right? You don't know what's going to come up.
And back to verse 9, judgment.
Yeah. Know that. You're gonna give an account for how you live, how you enjoy the Lord and you're satisfied in the gifts he gives, or how you complain about those gifts that he gives, or those random moments, the traffic that causes you to be late, the washer breaking down, you stubbing your toe and losing your lid on your mouth, right? Sam? Yep, there's this, all that comes to futility. It's futile, it's vanity, right? That's been a theme in Ecclesiastes, and we know that the prime of life are fleeting, but enjoy your youth and let stuff just slide off your back. Like, don't dwell on this so much that it causes your heart to be sorrow. Put that away from you, right? Be satisfied in God. Find your joy in God. Don't care so much about what your so-called friend said about you. Care more about what God says about you, right? That's beautiful. All right, let me pray. Dear Lord, thank you so much for today. Thank you for these students and all of the students of your word, Lord. Thank you that we get to come and study it and think about what you have to say and how you want us to live. Lord, I pray that you would cause us to love you in a greater and greater way that brings about more steadfast and faithful obedience in our life. Lord, please help us to hate our sin the way you hate our sin too. Lord, please help us to put it away from us and to be satisfied in you, to love you first and foremost in our lives. Lord, let us find our happiness in you. Lord, please let the happiness and the joys that come from watching TV or playing games or whatever it is that we enjoy in this life, let that pale in comparison to how we enjoy you and are satisfied in you. It's in your Son's name I pray. Amen.